Oh, it feels so good to be in here. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, I am finally in my brand new studio. And a backstory before I show you how I turned this into this? Let me take you on a little bit of a process of what was going through my head. Currently, I'm in a 3-bedroom house. Me and my wife's room, my son's room, and well, we have another baby coming on the way. So that puts me in the predicament of where am I gonna film all of my videos? It's either go and buy a new house or go and pay $1,500 to $2,000 a month to rent out a studio space. And then I got to thinking, I basically have a 200 square foot space that is just full of junk. So there I spent the next 2 weeks planning out and reaching out to contractors, and in no time, this whole space got turned into what it is now. So let's go through all of the steps that it took to get my office to where it is now. So first up, you have flooring. Now there's a couple different approaches that you could take with this. You could do what I did and get epoxy flooring. You could buy some hardwood and do full hardwood flooring, or you could go with just full-on carpet. Now each of them have their own ups and downs. Carpet being great for acoustics but terrible to clean and maintain. Hardwood flooring is very easy and you could install it yourself. And then epoxy flooring like I did, you could do it yourself, but 9 times out of 10 it ends up being a disaster and ends up peeling in a couple years. So it is probably one of the more expensive ways, but this floor is gonna outlive me. Now I did reach out and hire a company to come out and do this epoxy flake flooring. Now I had a ton of oil and coolant stains on the concrete from previous vehicles that I'd worked on, and the company that I hired came out with all of their own machinery, grinded down the concrete to a nice clean level, and they did everything in only 1 day. Now you can choose from a ton of different colors, and all said and done, it cost me about $1,900, and yeah, I don't think I could have done this any better myself for cheaper. It's one of those things you buy and cry once, and it turned out so good. Now moving on to paint. Now I don't know about the rest of the United States, but here in Texas, most new homes, whenever they're finished, come with no paint on the wall. So I did a full skim coat and I painted this entire garage myself. I used the Behr Scuff Defense paint because I wanted to add some protection on the walls from me moving stuff around. I bought 2 gallons of paint, and with the roller, the brushes, and the tape, I think all in all, I was in about $150 to get it all painted. Now moving on to storage. Storage is one of those things that you don't think of until you need it. And if you're cheap like me and you keep an eye on the big box stores, cabinet sets like this 9-piece Husky cabinet, they go on sale so often. So this original 9-piece cabinet set that I bought with the wooden butcher block countertop was originally $2,600, and I got it on sale for $1,799. They delivered it and it only took me about 3 hours to completely set up. And you could go a little bit cheaper picking up some either used cabinets or wooden cabinets, but the general aesthetics of these cabinets are just unmatched for something that showed up 2 days later after I bought it. Now here's some of the tougher things that I had to face when turning this garage into a habitable space, and that was running more outlets. So this garage that I'm currently in only came with 2 outlets. So I contemplated back and forth if I was smart enough to run my own cabling and do my own outlet install, and when it came down to it, I didn't want to burn my house down, so I hired out to a contractor local to me. I had him come out and install 6 brand new outlets, and then I also had to have him run power all the way over to where my AC mini split was going to be, and with material and install it was $1,050, and it took him roughly about 6 to 7 hours to get everything completely done. Now leading us into the next step, that was going to be air conditioning and insulating this room. I live in Texas, and for a good majority of the year it is above 100 degrees, so to make this habitable for like 7 to 8 months out of the year, I needed air conditioning. And for a garage setup, a mini split is the best air conditioning that you could probably do. It runs off its own system that's not a part of your house. It's very, very cost effective to run and very cheap to replace the entire system if anything ever fails. So I opted for this Carrier system. I believe it is a 14,000 BTU, and it comes with its own little remote that I can control the heat and the air conditioning. And when I tell you I've had this at 68 degrees, it has kept this entire garage at about 68 degrees all day long. But you also have to factor in the insulation. So I also hired a company to come out and insulate the entire top of my garage, because most garages aren't insulated on the top, as well as I had them insulate all of the exterior walls. That way I could keep the cold air in or the hot air in, depending on the time of the year. And all in all, you're looking at about $2,000 for the system and all the installation and the install. I also DIY'd insulating my garage door. So the actual physical metal door of my garage was already insulated, but I went ahead and added this 1/2 inch insulation board to the inside of the garage and then primered and painted it so it would match the wall for a kind of seamless look. After that, the space is all yours. You can either turn it into a home office like I did. You could turn it into the ultimate hangout spot with the projector in here. I've seen people do home theater systems. I've seen people just do full-on car workshops or just moving another bedroom in here. So to get to your garage to this level right here, I was roughly in for about $5,500 to $6,000. Now, while you probably could DIY a ton of the stuff that I outsourced and probably bring that cost down into like a couple thousand, it's totally up to your skill level. But now, not only is this an amazing extension to our house, but when it comes time to sell your house, this is such a great selling point, and I feel like you can totally get your money back on resale value. If there's anything else that I didn't cover in this room, feel totally free to drop a comment down below and I will try to answer every single one of your guys' comments. If you liked or found this video entertaining, please consider subscribing. We are on the race to 100,000 subscribers. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.